Square Enix has officially come out and said, PlayStation and your pony followers,
That's how they
you
said it?
are not enough. That's a quote in there.
Damn.
You can't see it, but he was fucking thinking that shit when he said, I'll tell you that much. Yes, official. They let them know all the dancing they're doing. It's so hilarious. Those of you who have Twitter are probably enjoying it, because when you go ahead and you see them on Twitter trying, well, technically the games were a success. It was these other places that failed. It's like, question. If the only things that they fucking have released were PlayStation exclusives, if they were so successful, it would have made Square successful, but they're not.
Absolutely.
They're not. So Square has officially come out and said it. So let's read a little bit. There's a lot of little breakdowns that people are gathering here, but Genki says Square Enix announced shift to multi-platform strategy as part of their new business plan. Oh wait, I might have to show more. The group will aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy that includes Nintendo platforms, which that's pretty dope. Platforms, which we know the Switch 2 is coming, PlayStation, Xbox, and PCs, especially in regards to major franchises and AAA titles, including catalog titles. Let's see what else. Well, I'm getting a little disenchanted with this situation over here because of another story we're going to be talking about later. But Jez writes, despite previous claims that Xbox wasn't worth it for Square Enix, the firm has confirmed its plan to go fully multi-platform, calling out Xbox specifically in its fiscal year 24 report. Yeah, guys, this is happening. Again, we knew. Listen, we knew this shit was happening, right? We knew PlayStation wasn't enough. We've been telling them forever. Jim Ryan told them that they were not enough. And
Jim,
no
those were
matter
the days.
yo,
You
RIP
know what I'm
Jimmy.
saying?
RIP.
Crazy was out there. I really thought, I don't know how many times I said in 2023, I was like, I think he's off his meds. I don't know what's going on, but listen, I miss Jimmy Jim.
Jimmy Jim.
That was a special
Jim was a moment in
character
time.
to have out there.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll never have days like that.
No.
Never again.
Never again. Especially when we talk about the next story. But yeah, Jim told them they weren't enough. They need to understand. I don't know why. It's like I feel like they go online on Twitter and it's like almost like a one of those places that you go, like what's double AA? What's that? AA? That's meetings, right? Where you go and you kind of share your story so that you could feel better about life and do all that stuff. That's what Twitter is for them, right? Like they go and they just talk and try to gas themselves up like they're not on a platform that is cratering, right? They literally try to make themselves feel better about everything that's happening. Every game, every game that has come from Square has flopped on this platform. It's insane. Now, Takashi Mashizuki, okay, I'm out here with languages, okay? I got this. There ain't nobody stopping me. Has put a summary together of everything that Bloomberg reported.
All right, let's get into it.
So Square Enix said Final Fantasy 16 sales fell short of expectations. I think that's like the phrase of the day for PlayStation. They just fall short of expectations on a constant basis.
Fail station.
Fail station. Facts. Initial momentum was in line with expectations.
Yes,
but
they were bragging.
Failed to reach fiscal year goal as its momentum slowed. No updates from sale number last announced at 3 million. Wow. So there's not even a number sexy enough to say right now, almost a year after that game came out. Was it a year? When the hell did Final Fantasy 16 come out? It was last year, no?
I believe so.
I think
right?
last year, yeah, Final Fantasy 16 was last year, 7 was this
In the
year. Yeah, yeah.
fall?
Yeah, so not almost a year, but still long enough that what the hell's going on here? You know what I'm saying? That's wild. That's
June last
embarrassing.
year.
Dude, you
Thank you,
go
Twittery Snake.
thank you, Twitter Snake. You go and you take your big follow-up game from 15, right? Big numbered game, 16. Oh my god. Let's drop everyone who supported us for 15 and let's trust these PlayStation ponies to come buy the game. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like maybe the ponies let them down. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, they've been letting everybody down with when it comes to sales and, buying games. I think that we can hear the same narrative from every studio that has released a game, um, PlayStation exclusive.
Agreed. 100%. Actually, you're right. Everybody's been burned. And this is just the same thing over and over again. Sir X-Men man, thank you both for being here. Thank you
Thank
for
you
that
so
$2 super chat.
much.
Says give CMoney a mustard color crayon for his lines. Listen, ain't nobody using no goddamn mustard color crayon. It's not happening. Okay? It's not.
He's suggesting you make lines.
No, no, it's not happening. No.
That
Okay.
would be hilarious.
So he continues. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales fell short of expectations. Initial momentum didn't reach an internal target. No sales numbers to share.
Oh,
Holy shit. No sales numbers to share. Wow. This what makes that line even more embarrassing. The next line says Foam Stars fell short of expectations. Oh, I wonder why. Initial momentum didn't reach an internal target. No sales numbers to share.
so no target reached by Foam Stars.
So pretty much we can easily say that essentially Rebirth did about just as well as Foam Stars did.
Essentially. Essentially.
Oh my god. Yo, listen, I could tell you right now, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy person, right? But I'm still a gamer, right? So if you put a game in front of me that looks really dope, then
We're gonna
I'm gonna
try it.
be
We're gonna play
inclined
it.
to want to try it. Well, Final Fantasy 16, it did look
We did.
dope when we were first saying, "Oh man, should we get it?" And we saw a lot of things, but I was like, "All right, it looks pretty good. Let's try it." Then obviously it blew up our PlayStation like 5 times, and we said, "You know what? It does that to us."
And that's it's not
But
meant to be.
it's not
Rest
meant
in
to be.
peace, Final Fantasy
One day,
16.
one day maybe
You
we'll go
know, the
back
the
and
problem with
and
it is that we
use it.
were very excited about, what we were going to play, and that's where it died, right?
That's where it
Because we
died.
will take 2 steps, and we're back into a 45-minute freaking movie time. It just and it's stunning. The game is stunning. It did
In certain
almost
parts is sunny.
certain parts.
Certain parts, that's the problem. Like when
Yes,
it's really like the beauty level that's there when it is like, wow, that's really nice. But then
absolutely.
everything else is dog shit,
It
right?
lacks
So
consistency. Even when you look out, like, oh my gosh, they had all these trees and everything. It just looked like a flat canvas of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trees that
It looked like
the
a like
same
a
kind of tree too. Like,
yeah, yeah,
damn
yeah.
it. Like
It looked like
like
a
throw in
fixed
some
painting
maple
that they just
trees.
posted back there, like back in the day Halo, right? Like back in the day Halo, they put these like the what are they called? Like the scapes, like when you would look out into the world.
Landscape.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it always looked so beautiful, but we knew
Yes.
it was painted, right? Like nothing was happening up there. It just looked so stunning. This is was trying to do that with like trees and shit, and it's like, yo, that's not, that don't work right? Or like this big building. I don't know. It definitely wasn't impressive. Rangy 4, my brother, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Thank you
What's
so
up,
much for that
baby?
$2 super chat.
Sliding through.
Just sliding through says question. What's so special about the Final Fantasy franchise?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Sorry.
It was special. Okay. It was special at a time when games weren't that grand, right? It was a special thing to have such a big game come out back in the day, right? That's when it was special. Now they don't know what to do because there's so many games that do it better, bro. Like just to be like dead ass, right? Like there's so many games that do it better. Like 100%, I'd rather play Dragon's Dogma 2 than play fucking Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just we're in a different world, man. We're in a different world, and at the end of the day,
I mean, they're a big they used to be a big name, right? That's kind of, like, diluted, and we see it here kind of play out because Final Fantasy 16, their sales, they started off strong and then they just halted, right? And then here we go. It's just a derail. It's been messy, and it has to be difficult for them to watch this all play out because, the one thing they had was, like, a lot of I mean, you gotta be really cocky to go ahead and sign this deal with PlayStation and say, "We don't need any other platforms," right? But that really slapped them up. I that was their problem.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, the time that they did it, I get it. They were trying to get this game going and announced it to this big fanfare, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna sign this deal." You know, they did it back in the Xbox One generation. That's when that deal was signed, and for all intents and purposes, Xbox was not in great shape. You know, so for them, they were like, "All right, cool, we'll do this." I'm also sure that the games took longer than anticipated
Yes.
to release. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you imagine a world where this game di these ga like, we weren't at part 2, and instead, we were already at, talking about Final Fantasy 17 because 16 came out years ago, part 2 and 3 already came out 'cause they did it in a faster cadence. You know, once they realized that shit was gonna take a long time, it was like, that was the end of them. You know, like, that was the end of Square, man. Like,
I also
they got
wanna
fucked.
go back to, Rain's comment because you've brought this up. I also think that, like, another problem with it is the number, right? Final Fantasy 16, right? And it's like, where do you hop in? Where like,
Yep.
it's almost like you're closing yourself off to new players, saying this is something that, you should have started from the beginning, and now it's deep for you to even try to
Yeah.
consider jumping into it. Like, that
Plus
you
plus releasing a Final Fantasy 7, right? Then releasing a Final Fantasy 16, then releasing another Final Fantasy 7.
it's
You know what I'm saying? Like,
messy.
like, what were they
What's
thinking?
the train of thought? Like,
Yeah,
what's
it does.
happening here?
You're right, though. It doesn't make any sense. The homie Big Boy Mike, man, thank
Boy,
you, brother, for
Mike,
being here.
what's up,
Appreciate you, man.
baby?
Thank you for that $2 super
Welcome.
chat. Says Final Fantasy is worse than Fortnite. Facts. You ain't lying.
You already know.
You ain't lying. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Oh, wait,
Uh,
wait, wait, hold it,
what
hold
happened,
it,
baby?
hold it. Got my confetti.
Oh, you forgot the confetti. Well, listen, you did forget it. All right, continuing on, says remains confident that Final Fantasy 16 can achieve its goal over the original 18-month sales plan. Okay, we'll see. Because we love those updates that you gave us in the numbers. Um, where else? Also, sales of Rebirth and Foam Stars aren't necessarily bad. Okay, because normally when things are not necessarily bad, they don't show the numbers, right? Like that's okay. Says reorganize development team into 5 console teams, 1 smartphone team. 5 console teams. So what to make what Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, the fuck else do they make? I mean, all
Oh,
the other stupid
Foam
shit. They
stars?
Foam Stars, the sequel's probably out in
I
development. You
mean,
know what
they're
I'm saying?
popping with it. They're ready to go. What are you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. All in, all in. You put all your chips on Foam Stars sequel.
Absolutely.
Uh,
That's what they should do. Stop making any other game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No need, no need. It says has relied too much on an individual's creativity. Will promote sharing game making how I guess how tos among teams and will seek best balance of individual creativity and organizational discipline. Yo,
Damn.
I they did they just slap up that dude Yoshi P or whatever the fuck
I
like the
think they
Final
did.
Fantasy
I
dude?
think they maybe even a
Wow.
stab happened right here. I don't know,
Wow.
man.
Wow. Slapped him up
For sure.
hard.
For shiso.
Oh my god. That's wild. That's wild. That was a slap. That
Mhm.
was a slap for sure. That was felt like in the back. That was felt in the back. That was crazy. That was crazy. Um, and then he says investors react. They sell shares heavily. Stocks fell to the day's trading limit. Wow. Concerns are pipelines have become too empty. No big titles that can lift up the company's top line over the next couple years.
Oh,
You see,
wow.
that's a big deal, and
Yes.
that's why literally why PlayStation is fucked,
Mhm.
right? Because they're in the same boat,
Absolutely.
right? They don't have shit coming out anytime soon to change the situation.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Square is like what are they supposed to do? They're gonna have to release like some small shit that they could turn around quick,
Yes,
maybe
and,
some more remakes and shit
man,
like
and
that.
I think that the small stuff that can, make a quick turnaround was foam stars. Like, "Yo, this is popping," you know, "This is a freaking game that everybody will wanna play." Definitely on a complete opposite corner from Final Fantasy, right? And it's like, it didn't move the needle. And
No,
it's a lot harder for a studio to do so because, like, we've seen PlayStation, they're out here freaking now they're gonna start selling books. And so they are exploring too. So, I mean, what option does Square have right now to put their games on other platforms?
facts.
This is messy because I personally feel a certain way about the fact that they've kept the games from the Xbox community, right? And so for me personally, it's kind of like, no, thank you. I'm not gonna buy your game on an Xbox, right? Because it's kind of like you were messy.
I mean, that's how I feel with a lot of this stuff. Like I feel like it's too little, too late. Not really interested in playing, your old ass game, now that you decided to bring it over. But honestly, I feel like that at a certain point they were just stuck with PlayStation. But if this, whole statement of them coming out is going to show us anything or tell us anything, is that time is running out, right? So, I think May something somebody wrote somewhere that their exclusivity deal is supposed to be over. I don't know if that's gonna include the 3rd game. I don't know how that's gonna work,
I
but
don't know. I don't know if they're. I mean,
maybe they put a clause in there that said
maybe,
that
or maybe
if the game doesn't sell enough, then the 3rd game will go elsewhere.
PlayStation is not going to fund the game.
Well, I mean, have they been funding? We don't I mean,
We don't know.
PlayStation can't even fund themselves right now. You saw
Exactly.
that whole deal is probably, might fall through with Paramount. We're not it's not a topic today because 'cause I'm not gonna go too deep in that crap anymore, but supposedly, they're looking at it differently. Some things might not go through, who knows?
I
No
think, who did they have? I kept saying their name and I forgot it. I'm blanking out on it right now. That was going to deliver the funds.
Apollo?
Apollo. Apollo may have had second thoughts
Uh,
about going into
maybe.
business
Yeah, yeah,
with
they had a whole
PlayStation.
thing about how, again, we didn't really talk about we probably would have talked about it on Sunday had we gone live, but, there's too much other stuff to talk about, but basically, it looks like Sony's, like, only has, like, 9 bill in cash,
Yeah.
and they were essentially kinda, like, going all in on this Paramount deal, like, putting up all their cash. They're gonna, like, bankrupt themselves
Yeah.
if that shit don't play out. So, we don't know.
That's
We
a
don't know how
bit
that's
of
gonna go.
a stretch. That's risky to go into business with a company that is using all of their coins, right? It's also reckless of them to go ahead and say, "Yes, here are all my chips, put them all in." You don't know how this is gonna play out, and you need you need to spend money to make money. That cushion still needs to be there. You can't spend all of your money on freaking Paramount, then what? Right? How do you move forward from there? Having everything, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Noble says Square Enix is officially shifting its strategy from quantity to quality. I love how their strategy before was quantity
Quantity.
over
That's
quality.
ridiculous. That sounds
Like, that's some
so
stupid shit
bad,
to
dude.
say.
Like, okay, well, now you're gonna give us quality. Understood.
That's
I
wild.
I was misunderstanding the last time that we bought one of your games. I thought, quality was a big deal.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, one of their goals is to establish an internal development footprint that brings fun that only the group can create. Wow. That it just seems like how is that not part of
Of what they should have
the
thought
original
about
plan?
already, right? Like, exactly. Why was that not a part of their original plan? I feel it's really upsetting the fact that these companies think of these changes so late in the game, right? Like, how many times do you have to fail before you say, "Let me go ahead and uh, turn turn a corner here and there," or have a different plan, a roadmap? Like, this should be figured out before you're in trouble.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, that just sounds stupid
You
when
know
they
what
say
it
things like
is?
that.
And it's the same problem with PlayStation. It's kind of like they figure out what works for them and they just keep going and keep going and keep going and until they beat a dead horse with it. And it's kind of like you should always be exploring new avenues to keep your games or your platforms popping, right? New gamers pop in constantly, new generations come in. You have to be able to pivot and to adapt to what the gaming world is at any given time, right?
Facts. Facts. They have here to diversify earnings opportunities by strengthening customer contact points. They're going to shift to platform strategy, which we know, right? So they're done with PlayStation. PlayStation did them wrong. They're moving on, and they're doing everybody, right? They're not. There's no stone that's going to be unturned. They're going everywhere. Um, also say that they're going to build continuous customer contact points for our titles by stepping up digital sales. Digital sales. Uh, Obviously that's going to be putting it other places as well that they haven't been, so they're hoping that by moving it everywhere it's going to be there. Also probably trying to scale back how much physical they do. Most of these stores are not even selling physical like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So at what point do we just rip the band-aid? And I mean, it's already kind of a niche thing, but um what else do they have here? Generating the opportunity of new revenue by offering IP across a range of entertainment experiences. So they're looking to do different type of media with their properties, maybe do TV shows and things like that. I don't know what they have that would justify that. Um, and then so again, right here, shift quantity to quality. The group will pursue a shift from quantity to quality as its medium to long-term philosophy regarding the DE segment's portfolio. To that end, it will work to establish the optimal portfolio, striking a balance between a product out approach that reflects the imaginations of its employees to the utmost and a market in approach that leverages customers' voices and data to inform development efforts. It will strive for a regular launch cadence, focusing its development effort investments on titles with substantial potential to be loved by customers for years. Oh my god. Loved by customers for years.
Okay.
Are they trying to say the same shit that they're gonna go into games or services? Like focus more on that? Didn't they fucking just have Foam Stars flop?
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, unless they're bringing in new people to go ahead and explore and learn about what could, but this is the thing, you go ahead and you try something new and you don't know if you'll take either. So everything is a gamble. I have such a problem with that line to shift from quantity to quality. It's like, yes, the quantity was for you guys, right? You weren't thinking of the consumer. You just wanted to feed them and hope that they buy. And right there, you see the failure. If you're not focused on quality and something that's going to keep them coming back, then what are you doing this for, right? For the bag. And at a certain point, if you're not putting in the love and the dedication that this needs to make quality work, people will eventually, the brand name won't mean anything to sustain you.
I mean, 100%. 100%. The other thing that's here that they say is striking a balance between product out approach that reflects the imaginations of its employees and then a market in approach. So basically, what they're saying is they're going to try to have some games that are actually creative and let their developers, try to make something, new or fresh or something that they want to make. But then they're also going to make sure that they do the market research to make a formulaic game that they think that people want to have. So they're going to do that. I mean, this just doesn't look great for
It does
Square.
not. It does not because when you are out there and you need that bag, that's a problem, right? Because you cannot, it doesn't go together. You can't be creative and do something that, comes from your heart and you feel like this, everybody's going to love it as much as you do and chase that bag at the same time. Those two things, they don't coexist. You're either following a formula that you believe will work to bring in that money, or you're doing something special that you think will captivate the players.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. It's crazy because as I look at this and I read this, I honestly, I really feel like all these thoughts right now that they're putting out here is mimicking what Sony is doing internally. Because this is the same place they're in. They don't
Absolutely.
know what people want anymore, right? They think they want these games like a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Forspoken or any of these other games that Sony makes, right? They think they want that, but then they spend all this money, all this time, all this energy, release the game, and then they don't show up for it, right? Like these are the big games and they don't
This
show
it
up for
has
it.
to be frustrating, and when I go ahead and I separate what I know them for, right? And what I just said previously, where I'm like, they were just chasing the bag and trying to cheat people out of money rather than going ahead and creating something great, or that they were passionate about, right? This is the feeling I get. Like you put yourself in that situation. However, to be in this position that they're in right now. So when I separate the two and I'm just focused on the desperation that I'm hearing, it's kind of like, shoot, that is one heck of a position to be in because you don't know how to move forward. You don't know necessarily what people want. What you do know is that what you were doing that once worked is no longer working. So it has to be a terrifying place to be in and not know how to move.
Agreed.
Nothing is guaranteed. It doesn't matter how much they invest or how confident they are in what will take with the players, right? Not to mention that it takes time for these games to be made. And so what it may be working right now and popping right now when not everybody's into, in a few years when these games are ready to release, it may not be the thing anymore.
Agreed. Excuse me. Agreed. Agreed 100%. Let me pull this up because Square is also, it seems to be like PlayStation another way too. They get to have horrible things happen and nobody talks about it, and they're only horrible when it happens with Xbox. So if we go here, all of this stuff that's happening with Square right now, Square Enix to lay off employees in American European offices. Says Square Enix has reportedly informed employees that it will be conducting layoffs in the next month. Employees working in publishing, IT, and the Square Enix Indie Collective are expected to lose their jobs. Um, listen, a spokesperson confirmed it to game developers. Says after several months of analysis and discussion among our leadership team, we have made the difficult decision to restructure. Oh, what did we fucking say?
Restructure.
What the fuck did I
Restructure.
say? What the fuck did I say? Xbox restructured Bethesda. Every
You
bitch on
did
the internet
say it.
screaming, they closed this, they closed this, they closed this. And look, as soon as it's somewhere else, they made the decision to restructure our Western
The
organization.
funny thing is that there were comments left on our stream from, I'm assuming ponies, say laughing about the restructuring, and this is what happens. This is accepted, right? And I understand it. You, if you understand business, right, you know that you need to restructure at times, and you have to do it for whatever uh, outcome you want, right? And sometimes you need to do that, period, because things are not turning out as for Square, they're not turning out the way that they want it to be. The money's not coming in, so they have to restructure, right? And I can understand what they're saying, but the idea of Xbox restructuring anything, it's like not a thing, right? They're just failing.
Outrage.
They're
There's
just it's
outrage
outrage.
if
It's just
Xbox is doing
failing.
it.
It's the end of the world. This is unheard of, right? So when we're talking about a studio restructuring that, they're on their own, and it's kind of like, if this restructuring does not work in their games moving forward, do not take. That's a problem for that studio. Like, it could be closing, right? When I look at a company like Xbox, right, that has a ridiculous amount of studios and has so much money and resources, when they are restructuring something because some things are not working, right, I'm not concerned that every other studio is going to shut down and it is the end of the world for freaking Xbox. And I think that we need to start understanding and bringing the same energy and know what the
Well,
hell we're talking about before we start crying about things or crying wolf. Oh, this will happen or this could happen. Come on.
well, it's just these like it just blows my mind because the Xbox will say we're doing this and we're doing it for this exact reason and doing this is going to benefit us this way because we can invest the money here, do all this shit, and they nobody believes them. Everybody wants to talk shit. That's the headline of everything. They're closing it. They don't know what they're doing. They're literally telling you exactly what they're going to do, but it's a
They're
big deal.
telling
Over
you.
here on Square is saying they're doing this. They said, "Oh, continuing on, they say this restructuring will unfortunately include a reduction in the overall number of roles across America and Europe. We are grateful to the talented Square Enix team members who will be leaving us and will support them during the transition." How is there a benefit from this? Because they didn't fucking tell us. They didn't say we're going to be closing this, but because of that, we're going to have this, this, and this be able to happen. No, only Xbox does that, right?
And then this
Xbox
is
tells us that because they closed this studio or because they laid off these people, they can focus their attention, invest more money here, invest in new IP here, all the things that you would want to hear as a gamer, but that gets thrown out the window. And we're supposed to cry and moan. Where is the crying? I don't see any of the
I
people
don't see
who
anybody.
were losing their
I have
shit over
not
these
personally
closings
seen anyone
coming over here
concerned
complaining
about the
about Square.
employees from Square that are going to lose their jobs,
Where?
what's going to happen to their
Show me.
lives. I don't see anybody expecting Square to continue to just keep them employed and pay them um, every week or biweekly, however they freaking pay. I don't hear the outrage that no matter what, figure out the cuts with your whatever you spend on your games and keep your employees. No, that outrage I haven't heard, but I don't think that's expected. I don't think that's expected of Square Enix, or I'm gonna go as far as saying I don't think it's expected from PlayStation to go ahead and keep employees that they may not need, right? And these are places where I see concerns.
Dude, listen, honestly, just listening to this shit right here, I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed that I don't see all these fake fucks out there going crazy that Square Enix is going to be letting people go. They haven't done it yet, right? So if you're going to bitch and moan, right, wouldn't this be the time to try to? I want to help make changes to protect
This
these
would be the
people.
time.
Come
See?
on, man.
This would be the time. And this is where like things get taken out of context, right? Or whatever, because it's difficult to not feel like a selective outrage or selective of like, oh, this game I cared about or this studio I care about. So I'm being selfish and I'm framing it as if I care about across the board, but I just want my game that it's now no longer potentially no longer being made because I mean, I've reminded everybody, and I don't know if it was heard, the fact that Xbox still owns the IP, right?
It's just so hypocritical
It is.
that these fuckers come out here pretending that they give a flying fuck about these people who lost their jobs. Because guess what? Square makes games too, right? These people make games that supposedly, if it was a good game, you'd be excited to play, right? If it were coming to your console. Now, Square just announced that they're going multi-platform. So theoretically, all these people would be able to make games that would be coming to Xbox, but now they can't because they lost their jobs. But nobody's gonna say shit about it because they're all fucking hypocrites. They're
I
all hypocrites,
I
bro.
get that also. I do see the fact that like okay, so if you guys are going so let me just entertain this for a moment. Why instead of, letting people go, why don't you guys go ahead and try to put games on other platforms and see what kind of money comes in and how you can keep these employees?
Mhm.
That's not brought up,
Isn't that
right?
what they said for Xbox? Why
Exactly.
don't you wait
Exactly. Why don't
until
you
such and
wait
such
and see?
time?
You know why? Because Square is not going to wait for anybody or a damn thing because Square is a business, right? And they are going to go ahead and make the business decisions that best benefits them because they are the ones looking at the numbers and they are the ones who need to make the right moves to be around later on, possibly. I mean, who knows?
We don't know. Twitter Snake says honestly, they don't care at all. Says they just grift Xbox because that's what gets the most engagement. You ain't wrong, bro. Scorpio says the media bias is real.
It is.
Absolutely
What's
is
up,
fucking real.
Scorpio?
What's up, fam? Rangy Four says hashtag fake fucks. Yo, that is the
Well, I think
absolute
that when
hashtag.
you're on one side of the coin and then you go to you're you're at another side of the coin with the same kind of situation. I think, I mean, there's no other word to describe it.
Facts. Sanchez MTZ Gaming says Xbox is dying. That gets the clicks. Gaming media knows this. Of course they do.
And I think is difficult because, I it's difficult to see the fact that the go-to is Xbox. This whole idea of the bias and this narrative that was, the Xbox tax, right? It was a narrative that, certain Xbox fans were trying to push, right? It's become such an obvious thing. Like if you can't see it, I don't there's no other way. I feel like there's no other way to push it and have you understand it, right? It's clear as day right now.
Absolutely. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It annoys me so much. Derek Skinkis says I'm guilty of knee jerk reaction, but goddamn, if it don't seem like it's only an issue if it's Xbox industry wide, everybody, everybody from the media to the ponies to the so-called Xbox fans, man. Like these people don't let them breathe, bro. They don't give
That's
them
what
any
annoys
fucking grace
me.
no matter
They
what,
said
dude.
for them to manage, to go ahead and make business decisions, and they're out there making business decisions and managing, and they still are on the receiving end of the bullshit. And that's why I can't stop giving them praise because they're out there they're freaking against the freaking media, against the freaking ponies, and they're also against the so-called Xbox fans. Like, how can you prevail? And they're still doing so, and they're still fighting, and they're still the only platform that where they are focusing on making games and delivering, right? It's ridiculous. This
That
is
ass.
why it's such an annoyance when anything. It's like I've said it before. If Phil steps on someone's shoe, Phil should die. That's the narrative out there,
For
right?
real. For
It's
real.
that small of a thing that needs to take place from the Xbox corner for it to be burned down to the ground.
Yeah, it's asinine, yo. Like, listen, I don't give a shit what anybody says about us, and I know they out there talk. The one thing that nobody can fucking say about us is we never, not one fucking time, went in here and be like, oh well, Xbox is fucked and they're doing this stupid shit is gonna ruin everything. Come on, man. Fuck out of
And
here with
I'm
that
gonna
shit.
tell you, CMoney, I'm gonna tell you why, because there's no reason to fucking say that. I don't
Facts.
w listen, go to the freaking zoo. Go find a damn donkey and explain to a donkey all the shit that's been going on. And the donkey will be like, "Xbox is alright." You know what I mean? Like, you
Like it's so
can't
fucking
look
easy to
at
see
it.
that there's no problem,
Exactly.
but they want to make everything a problem. And then when other people do the same problem, it's all good.
It's all good. It's fine.
Uh,
That's
You'll
called
you'll see a tweet.
bias.
You'll see
That's
a tweet that
called
says,
the Xbox
"Man,
tax, right?
watch Twitter." You'll find a tweet that says, "Hey guys, man, sucks that they lost their jobs. Well, hopefully they land on their feet." And then that'll be it. That'll be it. It's fucking clown shit, bro. It's clown shit. The Chaos Lounge says the media will always amplify everything Xbox with negative news. It's starting to get exhausting to see a new Xbox bashing every single damn day, bro. Without fail, if something comes up about PlayStation in any positive, like possible negative light, a la Square saying you're not enough, Square saying we're done with you, PlayStation exclusively, we're moving on from you, we're just another publisher who's left your bitch ass because you guys suck, right? It's like, oh, let me go ahead and show you how Xbox is fucking up today.
Yep.
Or even worse, have somebody write an article talking down about Xbox right when, like, immediately when there's some PlayStation going on. That's crazy that just happened. And again, we're going to talk about it later, but it
Listen,
blows my mind that these
yeah.
people are so, you know what? Let me take it back. I was going to say like oblivious to it, but they're
It's
not.
not
They're choosing it.
oblivious.
They're doing it
This
on
is a
purpose because they
narrative
want
that's trying to be
the
pushed.
clicks, bro.
Yes, I saw it in the chat. Some of you, know it, or all of you know it. It's the narrative to keep people clicking for some reason. For some, and I guess that this is just how great they are. And for me, I can appreciate greatness and not want to tear it down, not want to see it fail, not want to break it apart, right? When I see something beautiful, I can appreciate it, not go ahead and say, well, let me poke at it and see how I can destroy it, right? And I think that's the thing. That's how great they're doing and how, come on, man. Like, could you imagine as an Xbox fan if you found yourself on the other side of the coin and were treated as a consumer the way that the PlayStation community gets treated? That would be crazy,
It would be
bro.
insane.
That
It
would
would be
be
insane.
crazy. And again, what I'm getting to is the fact that it must be like this envious situation, this bad freaking energy towards like Xbox, that it keeps people wanting to see it happen, because why will you click on such bullshit? Or maybe it's the fear that they try to take advantage of, putting fear in people's heart, like, okay, well, listen, this is Xbox is over. They'll click on that to see if it's real or not.
Yeah.
It's
This
sickening,
is what
and
it
I'm
is.
so tired of it. I'm
Yeah.
so
It's so
tired of it.
ridiculous. It's so
And the
ridiculous.
same people that you see saying, the Xbox is gonna fail, it's like, "Oh, can't wait for Hellblade 2."
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
what?"
What is Xbox doing? They're so stupid. Hellblade is gonna be fire. Go fuck yourself, dude. Go fuck yourself real fucking good, dude. With your bullshit fucking what's that shit when you have multiple personalities? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the fuck you are, bro. You got this fucking personality over here that's an Xbox fan, but you keep him buried. You keep that motherfucker locked in there, and then you let your pony bot out. Like, oh no, we gotta do this. We gotta fight for this bullshit. And then, he came out, he snuck out, right? Oh my god, I'm so excited for what Xbox is doing, but they're gonna ruin everything. Shut the fuck up, dude.
They're ruining
Oh
the
my
industry.
god.
I can't wait for their games.
Oh my god. Fucking A. Pomoro was good, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
What the hell?
Um hitting FG's blood tip was good, fam.
You can't say that anyone is ruining the industry when they are the only ones contributing to the
In a
industry
major way,
in a
seriously.
major, impactful way.
Dark Angelic says the reason bad Xbox news gets more engagement is because we fall for it every damn time. I mean, Dark Angelic, you're right, right? You're right. The problem is that we have to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it and show the other side of the narrative that goes against the bullshit that they're trying to spin, then that becomes the narrative only, right? Obviously, we don't have this fucking humongous platform reaching millions of people, but at least fucking people who actually give a shit about Xbox might come and see something like this and realize, oh shit, yeah, you know what? It's not as fucking bad as these people try to make it out to be, right?
And
That's
hopefully,
why we
listen,
have to
we make
fucking talk about
sense
it.
to you guys the way that we see it makes sense. I mean, I can't come out here and feed you guys some bullshit that I'm not seeing or that I don't believe in. I
Facts.
can't. And so I can only tell my opinion and what I think. And it's wild because this is the thing. The when you care about the brand, right? And you see people trying to act like the brand is shit or it's over or it's frustrating, right? It's called whining and crying about things that do not reflect, right? Anything other than what's happening right now because that's literally what they're saying and they're explaining why. And if we can accept an explanation from Square Enix, we can accept an explanation from freaking Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer, right? We can go ahead and take their words for what they are. If we can do that with any other platform,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
And it's not accepted. And they it create this big freaking problem. And you feel a responsibility to set it straight, right? Obviously, you feel when you look and you think of like unfairness, right? You think of like, all right, you know, there people get treated different in life, right? And you see that changes need to be made in the world. And you see how, maybe men and women get treated differently and they shouldn't, right? And it's like it's if in a smaller scale of something, this is the same shit that's playing out. Like, how are we giving a pass to freaking PlayStation? And how is it okay to burn down Xbox for no freaking reason? How are those things acceptable?
Facts. And for anybody who thinks that that's oh my god, look at them giving a shit about a corporation. No, fam. The people at the corporation, right? The Phils, the Sarahs who listen, I don't give a fuck what you guys think or say or feel about this, but our pockets are directly impacted by those people who sat there
Absolutely.
and made the decisions that they've made. I used to spend so much money every single month on games. Just oh, this game came out. Let me buy this one. 60 here, 60 here, 60 here. You spend hundreds of dollars a month on new games coming out that I don't do anymore because of Phil and Sarah and Booty and the whole team who made Game Pass what it is, who made the commitment to Game Pass to put everything they make in there. I love Xbox. I love all of their games, at least enough to try it. But I love the games that I love in my life. The biggest ones are on Xbox. Okay, and they're in my service for free. I spend $19 or $18 a month, whatever it is, and that's it. If there's one, so rarely a game comes out that's outside of my subscription that I feel the need to spend the money on. Now I could if I wanted to, but why? Why? I have enough games to play. Why? I don't need to play every fucking game that comes out. I just want to play the good shit that I enjoy. And if there's something that comes out that I'm like, all right, let me go buy that. I can because guess what? Now I save enough money from fucking having Game Pass that I can go spend on other shit if I wanted to. And they are the people who fucking did it. So I'm sick of constantly having these people pretend like they're somehow complaining for the sake of Xbox, making Phil's life and Sarah's life and all these people fucking miserable because they are gonna make a change. You're not making no fucking change. You think they're that fucking stupid? No, it's ridiculous, bro. This is big money
But
people are
it's
talking about
you're
here.
not going to, but it is annoying. It is annoying for and if you can't see that this is just knocking the brand when you're out there and you feel like maybe ponies are knocking the Xbox brand, right? And you're doing the same thing and having the same narrative. And listen, I'm not opposed to going ahead and saying something that's not right, but you gotta have reason for it, right? If they're
Not
telling
make
you
believe,
this is
guys. Not
exactly
make believe.
not make
I
believe,
had a
not
nightmare
yeah.
that something was gonna happen, so I must fight them because that nightmare might come true. How old are you, bro? Keep your dreams to your goddamn self. Okay, keep your fucking little nightmares and terrors that you have to your fucking self. Okay, keep your shit somewhere else. If you're gonna bitch about something, make it something worthwhile bitching about, not stupid shit that you know are fucking wrong. You know it's not true, and you're sitting here like you fucking see the list of games coming. That's what you are. You're a gamer. You give a shit about the games. The games are coming. That's all you need to fucking worry about. That's all you need to worry about, bro. Don't come with the bullshit, man. I'm so fucking
And
sick
the
of the
idea,
fucking
the
fake shit, bro.
entitlement that they feel that Xbox, that Phil, that Sarah, that Matt can't say, "Let me shut down a studio if I want to shut down a fucking studio," right? They can do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, obviously, if they come around and they say, "Well, we're shutting down id," okay, yeah. Oh, well, what the fuck? What do you mean you're shutting down fucking id? That's crazy. I'm shutting down Bethesda. What? Are you fucking crazy? What? They're shutting down Turn 10. They're shutting down fucking 343. What? Okay. Let's fucking have a discussion. What are they doing?
What's
That's
going
crazy.
on?
Why is
Yeah.
this happening? Right? That's some wild shit.
But when you
But
can
you shut down fucking
understand.
Redfall Studio, the one that y'all motherfuckers buried?
Yes, that's
You
the
buried
thing.
them.
Like, how can it not make sense? How can it not make sense that Redfall came with so much baggage? And I
It was them,
understand if you
the same
feel,
people.
but fine, but then don't be upset when they shut it down. Like, you can't say we freaking hate Redfall. We freaking this is wrong. This is wrong. That is wrong. This game should have never been released in these conditions. Yet we were crying for you guys to release the game, and if you didn't give us the game, we were gonna freaking burn you down, right? But it should not have been released the way that you did it. You should have held it back. Like, you understand the contradiction out there?
It's
It
just so
is
stupid,
just
bro.
mind blowing.
They gave that game so much shit, they buried it, bro. They buried it. Every time they opened their dumbass mouths about the game, instead of just saying, well, that game wasn't for me. Listen, they're still working on it. Hopefully they do something with it. Wasn't for me. Keep
Exactly.
it moving. No. Let's pile on every fucking time, right? Let's always make sure everybody knows how big of a fuck up that game was, right? What do you think, man? What do you think is going to happen? You buried the game. You buried the studio. That's what you did.
You can't have both.
You put
You
them
can't have both.
too far under. They could not come out from that. You were gonna bitch over everything they ever showed you again
And
on
you're
any
gonna
new game.
listen, it's not just what they showed you. It's kind of like you were gonna question every step of the way. Right? That
Yep.
team could have went ahead and released the best freaking game they've ever freaking made next, right? And every step of the way. Yeah, but you guys remember Redfall? Yeah, but you know what happened with Redfall? And it was gonna be an uphill battle.
It's like they did
And
with Starfield. Starfield's
exactly.
fucking phenomenal game, and they still fucking found a way to try to give a shit. Imagine coming from a studio that made a game that they consider shit.